Well, aloha. I was a bit surprised. I expected to really get attacked on my video about smartphones and on social media. Yeah, well, it didn't really happen. I don't know. Maybe some people agree with me. I don't know why that might be. I really only had one passive-aggressive character, they do this thing. They start out, they say, oh man, I really love your content, but even though it's so hypocritical, there's so much hypocrisy in your content, I really love it, This is passive-aggressive. The guy hasn't realized he's got a mental problem. Besides, to be a hypocrite, you have to have belief systems. It's to espouse one thing to people in public and then turn around in private and do something else completely different. I don't really believe in much anything. I'm a free man. I'm not bound by the constraints of religion or by the constraints of politics or even by how my YouTube viewers feel about me. Although I do listen to you sometimes, and I had a request from one of the viewers that said, more creepy stories, man. And I can do that. Yeah, these are not usually my most popular videos. There's only a small segment of our viewership out here that gives a darn about, paranormal ghosts, and UAPs and all that stuff. But, well, let's just say that things have been going through a change in our country when it comes to UAPs or UFOs. Almost forgot what we used to call them. Yeah, it's been going through a change. Now we go back 50s, 60s. You mentioned anything about this stuff in public, and oh God, you just get beat. You had to be stupid. You had to be crazy to even believe in such a thing, that there could possibly be, other creatures from somewhere else in the universe prowling around here in the back alleys, right, Gracie? Huh? Did they bring cats to Earth? Maybe. It's a gray cat. Gray aliens brought the gray cats? I don't know. Anyway, there was a time when you really would be a fool, and eventually things moved along to, where the government actually began to admit that, there was really something out there. You don't need a tinfoil hat, but there's something. We don't know what it is. There's not much we can do about it either. But it doesn't appear to be dangerous. This is the point. Yeah, because it's probably been around for a while, and, they haven't tried to steal my Chevy, so, it's probably safer, living in the neighborhood with space aliens than it is living with the neighbors next door who stole my Chevy. So, that changed. Now, eventually, the Admiralty and the Navy will admit that, our fighter pilots are chasing these tic-tac things around. We don't know what they are, but yeah. Well, like I say, so gradually, the viewpoint becomes more legitimate. You're not crazy if you talk about this stuff. Congress wants disclosure. Laws are being changed. There are whistleblowers coming forward, left and right, and saying, I know this, I know that, it's top secret, but I know this, People are coming out of the woodwork all over the place, and suddenly it's okay to talk about this. It didn't used to be. My experience with this goes back to 1964. And it was in 1964 when I saw my first UFO. And I was at a teenage party in a backyard in summer when that thing showed up. And, it was very impressive. But there was one thing I learned at that time. If there's someone standing next to you while it's happening, go ahead, tap them on the shoulder and say, look at that. Okay. But after the fact, when you're out somewhere, you want to call the police about it, talk to the Air Force, talk about it at a party. Forget it, man. Don't even think about it unless you just want to feel like a complete fool. That's the way it was. Yeah, me and my neighbor kid there, we ran home. We called our parents at the airport. Both of the parents worked United Airlines and had contact with the tower, asking about UFOs, and no, nobody's seen anything. We called the police department. They said, well, it's probably back to the Mars by now, guys, Well, we learned a good lesson. You see that stuff, you don't talk about it. You just bury it. That the people who don't see it don't believe it, and so they'll think you're crazy. It's that simple. Well, that went on for years, and yeah, I really didn't talk about this much at all. I actually didn't start to talk about it at all until I started to do some Halloween stories on this channel, and people wanted to hear creepy stuff from me, and they kept asking for it, so I started on some of the UFO stories. Simultaneously, things were loosening up a little bit on this. My cat is rubbing the tripod. Gracie, stop shaking the camera. Yeah, she's right down here. Well, I'm seeing a change, and it scares me. Yeah, we can go back to when the Trumpster was in. They started talking all about the Space Force. We got a new branch of the military. It's the Space Force, Okay, that was kind of the intro. Ronald Reagan tried the Star Wars thing. That didn't go off very well. Too expensive at the time. Technology was too expensive and too exotic. Anyway, so yeah, we've been around with this, but they moved it into the military platform, and well, now I've been watching these things come in and out of the atmosphere here since 1964, all right? That's a long time. We're talking 60 years, and the occurrences have been frequent. Yeah, I'm just talking about one incident. I've had probably only a couple of incidents where they were extraordinary. It's no way anybody could even pass it off as swamp gas. That was not swamp gas, man. That was a machine. Others that were, just lights in the sky. Do weird stuff. Yeah, but in dozens and dozens of sightings. And so, for the last 60 years, I've known that they're here. Okay? I don't know who they are, and I don't know what they want. Okay? But like I said, they haven't stolen my Chevy, so I haven't been too worried about it, really, but I have been very curious what's going on here. I don't talk about it with most people because they think I'm nuts if I bother. But it's real. They're here. Whether you believe it or not, that doesn't really matter. That has no effect on the subject whatsoever. They are here, and it appears from the craft that I see that these craft are so different from one another in many cases that it can't possibly be the same group. Now, I do believe that there's several groups. That's what it looks like. And I use that word belief again. Well, it's totally hypothetical. I need an answer somehow because I see the craft. And I see the crafts are different from one another. Yeah, I don't think they changed the model year like Chevrolet does, Anyway, now we got all these people coming forward. And we got whistleblowers like, what's his name? Is it Doty? Richard? Yeah, he was intelligence, Area 51. Yeah, he was an intelligence officer in Area 51, where everybody claims is where they dragged the Roswell crash site and stuff. Well, he's got a lot to say, and he's saying it, and everything he's having to say is actually classified and totally top secret, and he can't even get documents that he produced while he was, as an intelligence officer. They're completely redacted, or they're not even able to get after him anymore. But so he talks. Yeah, he basically let him know that nobody's going to kill him if he tells his stories on YouTube. So he does. It's there. You can see it if you want to. I don't trust him. It was military intelligence. That's an oxymoron. It's George Carlin's joke. But, yeah, no, I don't trust him at all. But he's out there and he's talking about the fact that, yes, we have had alien visitors. Yes, we have crashed residue. Yes, we have bodies. Yes, we even had a few, live extraterrestrials hanging around. Anyway, that's what he says. You got other people like, Linda Moulton Howe. Journalist, well decorated, highly educated. But, wow, took off into a weird corner with cattle mutilations years ago and has been into this alien thing. She is, with the UFO people, she's the ruling queen. And because, her deep media contact, people come to her and people tell her stories, all right? Stuff that's not supposed to be known. And so she's got a whole lot of information that she lets out, too. Well, the problem for me with this stuff is, now, I do not believe that Howe is a liar or making anything up, but I highly suspect that the people, the whistleblowers that talk to her, are intentionally feeding disinformation for reasons. The same thing goes with Dodie, that it's disinformation from my point of view. The reason I say that is that it dovetails very well into what I already know, And what they're saying answers questions that I've had. Answers them real well, too. And answers them pretty scary. And so what I think I'm seeing a pattern as we move towards this quote-unquote disclosure. This disclosure about alien presence here is not happening because, people want freedom of information. That's BS. That is not why this is occurring. I suppose there's a number of reasons, but increased technology. We can see more, take more pictures, scan more. We've got more visibility than we ever used to. And so we see more stuff. But that's not the reason. I am pretty sure that what we're being prepped for is fear. Yes, if you pay attention to these folks out there on YouTube who disseminate the whistleblower information on the UFO thing and the cattle mutilation and all that, you're going to find, whereas a while back we said, they're probably benevolent, that ain't caused any problems, so, well, that's changing. Yeah, we're getting ready to up the ante over here for the military-industrial complex. The pattern I see is we are setting up a stage and a platform of fear for the public so that we'll be more than willing to spend huge sums of money into the military-industrial complex, probably for no good reason, because, if this whole thing is real, then, well, there's no way we're going to come up with a bullet that's going to fix the problem anyway. It's the only way it would be that if we got friends who have advanced technology who are willing to share it with us, but I don't know, if I was a benevolent race from off planet and looked down here at the Earth, I said, don't let them people have anything worse than a hand grenade. Don't let them have anything worse than a hand grenade. Them apes are dangerous. They're going to cause problems. If they get off that stone, we're all in trouble. That's what I'd say. Yeah, it says it's a dangerous planet. Quarantine it. I don't know what we did here or how this all happened that these people became so aggressive and crazy, but they are, and we don't need them out here. Unfortunately, there are probably already some organisms out there that are as crazy as we are. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what I see is the stage being set up for fear. Fear is the motivation. It's used in government to get people to move. That's the right fears the left, and the left fears the right. And everybody fears everybody else. And man, I'm telling you, if we ever once gave ourselves something to worry about besides global warming, bad elections, and and war on the planet, if we ever started to have to worry about something that wasn't human, that we couldn't control, oh my goodness. This is the biggest motivator yet for being able to pull the money out of my pocket and make somebody else rich in a military-industrial complex, because it's a futile pursuit. It'd be an endless game. There's no way we'd ever get on top of that. The only way is if we got, little gray extraterrestrial buddies, and so I'm good at patterns. Yeah, and I see them in plants. That's why I identify things easily. I see them in nature. I also see them in social trends. And it's happening. We have a pattern of development that is moving the alien presence from "you're nuts" with a tinfoil hat and a hillbilly, if you believe that stuff, to "well, yeah, there is something, but we're not sure what it is and we can't do much about it," to "well, it's there and it's probably dangerous." That's where it's going. Notice, watch it. And it's heading there. And the disinformation, the propaganda, if you like the Russian word for it, Soviet word, that it's building. I mean, most of you probably don't even notice it because, unless you've been watching this presence on Earth here as long as I have, you're disinterested. You probably don't pay much attention to these people. All right. But they're out there right now. Quite a few of them. You've heard the term whistleblowers, I'm sure. There's a lot of it. Some of it's probably true. I'm certain a good portion of it is probably actually correct. There's another portion of it that I find highly suspect, and I do believe it's a motivator. It's going to take a while. First, you got to get people to notice this is happening. Once they notice it's happening, then you have to get enough critical mass of apes out here to start to believe that it's really true. And once that starts to happen, then you can start to get them all scared about it. And once you get them all scared about it, oh my God, you ran around quitting, the sky's full of enthusiasts. Why did nobody do something about this? It's been going on for 2 million years, you mean? Yeah. There's kind of, I think, the way the pattern's going to roll out. And boy, somebody can make a lot of money on it. And it's like with most of this stuff, so what? I can see it. It's like, hey, I saw the 2008 economic collapse coming. I knew it. With what they were making home loans, I said, man, this is 1928 all over again, but it's not on the stock market. It's in the mortgages. I can just see the pattern. Sure, it fell apart. I even lost my long-time good job during that period. Had to scramble and do what I'm doing, or had been doing there for quite a while. But yeah, pretty good at picking patterns. See how things kind of move into each other and start to take a shape as time moves on and we develop things. The government is quite patient in this process, but they're going to push it along as fast as they possibly can, because boy, this is going to put so much money in somebody's pocket. Colonization of space, off-world platforms, high-energy particle beam weaponry, moon bases, Mars colonies. Okay, on and on. I can go on and on. I mean, it's inevitable that we will go off planet. Sometimes I've seen the human race as being a whole lot like a codling moth. Anybody raise apples and pears, walnuts? You know the codling moth, right? Yeah, you go on out there and you cut your apple open and it's a dang worm going right through the middle of the thing. Yeah, well, I kind of figure humans are something like that. Yeah, we don't seem to be able to control ourselves very well. We're not real good at thinking future either. We don't pay too much attention to what our present actions may develop into in time. That's not important. That's somebody else's problem in the future, usually, So, here we are. This is what I figure, folks. Yeah. I'm pretty certain we're being set up. Yeah. Disclosure is a setup. It's just another way to pull more money out of your pocket. And, a lot of you are going to be probably happy to give it because, man, fear's a huge motivator. That's it. I don't even have any idea how in the heck this is going to play out because, we're scared about the little brown people coming over the border from the south. That's frightening. Some even bothering to come around from the top side out of the frozen north. We get scared about other people. I don't know what the heck we'd do if we found ourselves in the presence of something that was not human and wasn't friendly and was seriously evolved over our present state of affairs so that we wouldn't have much of any way that we could control the situation anyway. It's kind of where we're at right now. But so far, like I say, I don't see the visible harm. It's still a question. What are these characters doing here? They, over time, scientists used to argue that's not even possible. There can't be people coming from, or creatures coming from anywhere else. Too far away, they'd say. Of course, that's viewing world through Newtonian physics, and these guys probably operate on something more at the quantum level or beyond. So their understanding of physics is not the same as ours. But so they used to say, it's too far away. Well, it might be far away, and it may have taken them a while to get themselves here, although there are probably wormholes and things. For all we know, we got a darn pipeline of a wormhole that opens right into Antarctica, and they might be 90 light years away from here, but they can pop out almost instantly with the things they use as craft by folding space. Who knows? But they're probably here already. In other words, we've already been invaded. Where are they? Oh, who knows? It's all totally conjecture, but it seems to be so much of it that they always got to be hanging around here. They're in the moon, the far side of the moon. They're under the ice caps. I don't know. They're in the ocean. There's a lot of places we never go. And it's probably going to be a long time before we get there, too. Should be interesting if there is any presence at the moon. What happens in the near future here? Nobody's really sure whether it was an economic argument that kept us from going back or whether we were told, don't come back here, this ain't your real estate. Who knows? I don't know. I know very little. This is true. I know very little, especially when it comes to things like that. But I do know. I know they're here. Yeah. My own eyes, Too many times. Too many times. You can only go through this experience of coming into the presence of these spacecraft or whatever they are. You can only go through that a few times before it finally sinks in. You give up arguing. That's what happened to me. I gave up arguing about it. Yeah, they're here. Okay, so the fact they're here, it's not a question. So what are they doing? What's up? Yeah, that's the issue. You know, if it's just a vacation on a strange planet full of crazy apes, you know, and sometimes I think that all the warfare we got on the planet is just some off-planet intelligence having fun genetically engineering a bunch of apes to beat each other's heads in. It's a live fire video game down here, folks. Live fire video game. Yeah, they're coming from all over the universe to play this game. Who knows? And maybe they're evolved way past anything like that. But I can tell you, there's money in this one, boy. Oh, is there money in this one? You watch and see. There's going to be money coming through Congress eventually. And it's going to be coming through for probably no particular good reason, because I don't think there's a whole lot we can actually do about this whole situation. We're probably quite powerless. Boy, that's a bad situation for a government to be in, too. No wonder there's so much secrecy. I mean, you know, what's the first thing everybody says when something rises up? Why didn't somebody do something? You know, the government should do something about this. Well, I don't think they can. Hang loose, folks. Aloha.